Have you ever felt like the challenges in your life are different, almost as if you're being tested? What if I told you that there are 7 hidden spiritual tests that only the chosen ones can overcome? These tests are neither simple nor easy, but they hold the power to completely transform who you are and how you see the world. And, more importantly, you might be facing one of them right now without even realizing it. Are you ready to discover if you are one? Life can sometimes feel like a battlefield, can't it? Between losses, doubts, and moments of utter darkness, you might find yourself asking, why is this happening to me? But what if I told you these challenges are actually invitations? Invitations to something much greater. The chosen ones, those with a special purpose, face spiritual tests that few even recognize. And it's not easy. These tests challenge your faith, require you to let go of what you hold most dear, and, above all, force you to face truth. Have you ever wondered why some people endure such deep pain while others seem to glide through life with ease? Maybe you are one of the chosen. Maybe these tests are shaping you for something extraordinary. The challenges you face are not punishments, they are gateways to a transformation that few have the co. In this video we'll explore the 7 spiritual tests that only the chosen ones can overcome. We'll dive into each one so you can understand, identify, and most importantly, overcome them with strength and clarity. So, get ready because what you're about to learn could completely change the course of your life, but only if you're ready to answer the call. The chosen don't come into this world ready-made. They are shaped just as gold needs fire to shine. Spiritual, mental, and emotional challenges act as this fire, burning away what is false and revealing what is true. Imagine a young woman who, after losing everything in a sudden twist of fate, realizes that the things she thought were essential were merely distractions. In that emptiness she finds strength, not because she had it all, but because she learned that everything she truly needed was within her all along. These challenges don't happen by chance. They are like training sessions preparing us for something greater. Think of David, who faced rejection and loneliness before becoming a king. What seemed like suffering was actually preparation. In your life, it might be relationships that ended, dreams that failed, or even moments that made you question who you are. All of it has a purpose. But few can see the purpose while they're in the fire. That's why the next test is so crucial. It demands that you face the truth about yourself without masks, without excuses. Are you ready to face the mirror? The test of truth is a direct confrontation with who you really are. No masks, no filters. Imagine a man who always believed he was strong, only to realize in a moment of crisis that his strength was just a facade to hide his fears. That moment of revelation can be devastating, but it's also the starting point for transformation. Because only when we see who we truly are can we begin to change. If you want to start this process, try this exercise. Grab a notebook and write down everything you believe to be true about yourself. Then ask, is this really who I am, or is it who I've been taught to be? For example, do you think you need to be perfect to be loved? Is that a truth, or is it a lie you've carried throughout your life? Facing these questions is uncomfortable but absolutely necessary. The beauty of this test is that by confronting the truth, you start to hear your inner voice, the one that's been drowned out by expectations and fears. But to hear it clearly, you need silence. And silence, as you'll see, is the next great challenge. Isolation may seem frightening, but it is essential for hearing what truly matters. Imagine a woman who decides to disconnect from social media and the world for a week. At first, the silence feels unbearable. But then, a new voice begins to emerge. Her own inner voice, the one that had been drowned out by external noise. It's in this space that transformation begins. A simple exercise to practice isolation? Take 15 minutes a day to be completely alone. No phone, no distractions, just reflecting or praying. In that silence, you'll begin to hear the truths you've been avoiding. In isolation, we learn to value what truly matters. But this lesson often requires us to let go of what no longer serves us. And that brings us to the most painful test: letting go. Letting go is one of the hardest but most liberating tasks. Imagine a young man who carries the weight of a toxic relationship for years, believing he needs that person to be happy. When he finally lets go, he realizes his freedom had been suffocated by his fear of losing. This is the test of letting go, releasing what no longer serves you to make room for what uplifts you. But letting go doesn't have to be a grand gesture. Start small. Look at something in your life, a belief, a habit, or even an object, and ask, does this still reflect who I want to be? Maybe it's time to donate clothes you no longer wear or let go of the idea that you need to please everyone. Letting go isn't about loss, it's about freedom. When you release what weighs you down, you pave the way for transformation. But what happens when you lose everything and feel completely alone in the dark? This is where the dark night of the soul begins. The dark night of the soul is like walking through a never-ending storm. Everything familiar disappears, leaving you in a void without answers. Imagine a woman who loses her job, her partner, and her sense of direction in a matter of months. In her despair, she begins to question her very existence. But it's in this abyss that something profound happens. She discovers that the light she was searching for was within her all along. During this time, the pain may feel unbearable. But there's a powerful practice to help you face it: journaling. It doesn't have to be elaborate. Just write down your doubts, fears, and even small moments of gratitude. This practice won't erase the pain, but it will bring clarity and often a spark of hope. The dark night of the soul is not the end. It is a purification, a rebirth. And as you begin to see the light in the darkness, a new challenge emerges: trusting the invisible. This is the test of faith. Faith is trusting in what you cannot see. It's like walking in the dark, believing there is solid ground beneath your feet. Imagine someone who loses their livelihood but decides to persist in a dream that shows no signs of success. This is the test of faith, continuing even when everything seems impossible. It's trusting that there's a greater plan, even if you can't see the details yet. To strengthen your faith, start each day with an affirmation like, "I don't know how, but I know things are aligning in my favor." Another powerful practice is meditating on verses that reinforce trust, like Psalm 23, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." These words aren't magic, they're reminders that you are never alone. Faith gives us the strength to keep moving forward. But as we learn to trust, we're called to something even deeper: surrendering to the flow of life. Surrendering is about flowing with life instead of fighting against it. Imagine someone who tries to control every aspect of their life, only to be met with constant frustration. When they finally let go, they realize that the universe works in ways they could never predict. This is the beauty of surrender. It doesn't take away your strength, it redirects it. A simple exercise to practice surrender is to write down the things you try to control but know you can't. Next to each item, write what you could do if you simply trusted the process. The sense of relief that follows is the first step towards surrender. And here's the most surprising part. When you stop fighting, life often begins to flow more smoothly. In surrender, we discover that there is a greater rhythm guiding us. It's through this act of letting go that awakening becomes possible, not as an ending but as a new beginning. The awakening is the moment when everything begins to make sense. Imagine someone who has faced countless challenges and for the first time, understands that those experiences weren't punishments but preparation. It's the realization that every moment of darkness was shaping them into who they were meant to become. Awakening isn't about perfection, it's about alignment. It's the ability to see life with clarity and live in harmony with your purpose. Imagine looking back at your struggles and realizing they were the stepping stones that led you here. That's what awakening feels like. It's a shift in perspective that transforms everything. To live this awakening, ask yourself, how can I use my experiences to help others? Perhaps it's by listening to someone who is struggling, sharing your story, or simply living more authentically. Awakening isn't about reaching a destination, it's about becoming a beacon of light for others. And now that you've come this far, the question is, what will you do with everything you've learned? The climax of this journey lies in your response. This is the most powerful part of the journey. Awakening isn't just about who you've become, it's about the impact you will have on the world. The chosen ones, those who have faced and overcome every spiritual test, don't emerge merely as survivors. They emerge as leaders, healers, and living examples of what's possible. And now, with all this transformation in your hands, the question remains, what will you do with it? Think about the challenges you've already overcome. Each struggle, each moment of darkness, was like a brick laying the foundation for something extraordinary. Now you have the opportunity to use that foundation to create. Whether it's a new vision for your life, a deeper relationship with God, or the courage to inspire others. Maybe you are here to be the light that someone else needs, just as others have been a light for you. And now, the most important question, are you ready to live as one of the chosen? Because facing the test was only the beginning. Do you have the courage to use your light to transform the world around you? Now that you know the 7 spiritual tests that only the chosen can overcome, it's time to reflect. Which one are you facing right now? Is it the test of faith, challenging you to trust in the unseen? Or the test of letting go, asking you to release what weighs you down? Whatever the test, the most important thing to remember is that these challenges are not here to destroy you, they are here to mold you, to transform you into the best version of yourself. But now the choice is yours. Will you use this knowledge to grow and align with your truth, or will you continue resisting the lessons life is trying to teach you? The chosen are not defined by the tests they face, but by their courage to remain steadfast even when everything around them seems to crumble. The choice is simple: will you take action or will you keep waiting? If this message resonated with you, don't let it stop here. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share this content with someone who might also be facing these tests. Before you leave, answer this in the comments. What will be your first step toward living as one of the chosen? You are not here by accident. You have been called, tested, and prepared for a purpose greater than you can imagine. Now is the time to step into that purpose and shine your light. Are you ready to answer the call?